Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Wheatley Vodka Rampage at Remington, presented by Tecate Light and brought to you by HD MMA. We are at the gorgeous Remington Park and Casino in Oklahoma City. Spectacular night of action inside the cage, and this is the first co-main event of the night. 3 5-minute rounds. Already we see Jose Martinez from Tonkawa, Oklahoma, up in the northeast part of the state. Kay County, well known for its fight game, and he is taking on Eddie Brown from Medill, Oklahoma, the southeast part of the state. We have a cross-state rivalry. Eddie Brown, an impressive 4-1-1 record. But Jose Martinez comes in with an even more impressive 8-4. Let's send it up in the cage for the announcements to the undefeated Jerry.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Remington Park, good evening and welcome to your co-main event of the evening, proudly brought to you by Tecate. This is a professional bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at an official 149 pounds. His professional record stands at 8 wins with 4 defeats from Tonkawa, Oklahoma. Ladies and gentlemen, Jose Martinez. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at an official 145 pounds. His professional record stands at 5 wins with 1 defeat from Medill, Oklahoma. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Brown. We got a one partner for your instructions.
I got to get over the rules, take yourselves at all times, listen to my instructions, fight hard, fight fair, touch them up, let's go.
Mikhail Valentin joining us cage side. Mikhail, I'm not sure I've ever seen a fighter like Eddie Brown fighting out of the red corner with this much support from the crowd.
He's a very good fighter. He's actually coming off an enormous LFA win on national TV. Came in as the underdog and starched the favorite. Jose Martinez, he's 8-4. Eddie's 5-1. This is a very good matchup. Jose is, I would say, a technical brawler in a sense, and Eddie is a good wrestler and very savvy everywhere, a quickly developing fighter.
Well, this will be an excellent test for him, as Jose Martinez is a grizzled veteran from the northern part of Oklahoma. There's a huge MMA community between Wichita and northern Oklahoma. They fight up there in Newkirk. Jose Martinez, part of that scene, and it has big wins against some of the biggest fighters in that area. But check out Eddie Brown, the fast hands, making Martinez pay every time he tries to get on the inside. Mikhail, what should Martinez do? It looks like he can't compete in the stand-up. How much chance does he have on the ground against Eddie Brown?
So this is the interesting thing. I think he can compete in the stand-up. He's actually a pretty decent stand-up guy. He's more of a brawler, so I'm with you on the technical aspect. But I do think that his wrestling could be better in a sense. But Eddie, that's the thing about Eddie. He's very good everywhere as well. It's a very hard fight to pick because I do think they're very close everywhere. I will say Eddie could be the fresher fighter. Martinez came overweight, had a tough weight cut, and I do believe Eddie has a significant advantage in that department.
But what you can never underestimate is the grit and heart of a fighter. We've seen Jose Martinez in some serious wars and still pull out the victory. He's struggling here in round 1. He's already bleeding profusely from his mouth. It looks like his lip is split.
Jose has a guillotine. It looks like he might have his arms locked. I can't see where the other arm is here, and it does look like it, but he's out. That could also take a lot of energy hanging onto a guillotine, depending on how much he exerted trying to finish him. That could gas a fighter.
And mentally deflating when you think you might be ending the fight, and it ends up the fight maybe just beginning. Martinez is bleeding. I can't quite see where the cut is, but the way it's bleeding, I'm guessing it is his lower lip, the way it is dripping down onto the back. of Eddie Brown. When the judges look at damage, which is one of the criteria for scoring, how much credence do they give, Mikhail, to a fighter who's bleeding?
Well, I think it's a lot. Like, I think especially when a fighter is getting beat, and on top of it, it's blood. It's a decisive, I guess, scoring system when the guy is not only losing the position, he's also getting dominated and he's getting damaged. So I think it gives a lot more credence. Now, if the guy is winning the fight and he's dominating and he gets cut, it just depends on the situation. In this case, I think it gives him a lot more opportunity to definitely look decisive in the judges' eyes.
Well, Jose Martinez has been on the losing end of this round, but you cannot discount his experience and his heart. This kid is as tough as nails, and we have seen him come back from the abyss to win by a sudden end, either by a choke or by a KO. He's dangerous with both hands, and he's dangerous on the ground. Eddie Brown doing his best, but again, Martinez showing the experience by not letting Eddie Brown do what he wants to do. Mikhail?
Yes, absolutely. And Martinez actually looking for a Kimura here. He's trying to pull that arm out, trying to get it closer to his chest. Yeah, he's trying to get an angle here as you hear his corner, Derek Atkins. He's trying to get that arm to the chest. That way you have the leverage to get it pulled out. But right now, Eddie's doing a good job with his, I don't know if it's strength or technique there. It's hard to see, but he's definitely defending it well.
Well, one of the biggest handicaps of having a bloody nose is the ability to breathe.
Yes.
Can that affect Martinez's conditioning if this fight goes into the later rounds?
Absolutely. As a fighter that struggled with a weight cut, as a fighter that's getting grinded on, getting controlled, being wrestled like this, especially if you can't breathe, it's going to make it much harder. So absolutely.
If you were advising Eddie Brown on what to do from top mount, he seems to be swinging for the fences. What advice would you give him to be more measured and controlled? I ask you that question. I want the answer in round 2, which is coming up. We saw a brutal round 1 here at the Wheatley Vodka Rampage at Remington, presented by Tecate Light and brought to you by HD MMA. Jose Martinez in the white trunks with black trim. Eddie Brown in the multicolored trunks fighting out of the red corner. Martinez seemed to be on the losing end of much of that round, Mikhail, but you say don't count Martinez out yet.
Well, yeah, for sure, because he's veteran, he's savvy, he's got a lot of experience, but to be honest, every position he's losing. So we can't count him out, but at the same time, he's not in any good positions to look like he might be able to pull out an upset right now. Everything is defense, and honestly, it's survival defense.
Eddie Brown, a tough fighter out of Medill, Oklahoma, has 4 wins to his record, only 1 defeat, and he's looking to take out the chiseled veteran Jose Martinez, who has been in there with some of the best fighters this region has to offer.
He cut Eddie Brown open very badly with those elbows from the top. Eddie's gushing blood right now. Look at those elbows. It's a nightmare over there.
The last thing Eddie Brown saw coming were those left elbows from behind that Jose Martinez has landed. But look at this, Eddie Brown, despite gushing blood from the cut on his forehead, takes control as he gets top mount, and Jose Martinez struggles to capitalize on what is clearly an opportunity, Mikhail.
That's absolutely true, but at the same time, Jose threw those elbows from a defensive position. Eddie's head was there, he capitalized, he damaged him, but he wasn't in the position where he was on offense where he could have continued to capitalize. Eddie just got out of it and got an even better position.
This is really great camera work by Ken Jones, as you can see the results of these two fighters really giving it their all. The canvas absolutely spattered with blood, and I believe most of it has come from Eddie Brown from that vicious gash on his forehead.
Yep, and he's rubbing it on Jose Martinez right now as he's on top, trying to wrestle him down and hold him down, and Jose's active. He's trying to fight back, but he is not able to do anything. That's the difference. He's moving, he's trying, but so far nothing except those elbows.
And usually when we think about a cut to a fighter's face, we think about blood dripping in his eye. In this sport, there's a risk of the blood dripping in the opponent's eye, especially the way Eddie Brown had top mount as Martinez was on his back.
Yep, and Martinez is struggling, but with one thing I will say is, for a guy that is drained, Martinez, as you said earlier, man, that guy's got a lot of heart. He continues to fight through all this, so a lesser man would will.
He's a tough, gritty fighter. Jose Martinez coming from northern Oklahoma, and look at him after the domination that Brown had on the ground. Martinez comes up swinging, and here they are again going back to the ground, but I think Martinez is in very good position.
He is. Eddie driving for that single leg, and he got it. Really good job, really smart by Eddie, because Eddie looks like he's fading a little bit. Now I can't tell for sure if he is, because again, it's really hard to see with an angle, but it does look like he's slowed down, and it does look like he's digging much deeper and much harder for every position.
I have to give credit to Eddie Brown. It didn't look like he had good position on that single leg, but he absolutely capitalized on it and put Jose Martinez on his back. Once again, Martinez, although he is in a position to capitalize on a vicious cut across the forehead of Eddie Brown, does not appear to be either in the condition or have the motivation to capitalize on it the way he should. But look at this.
He's close.
Look
He's
at him
almost
working
out.
the arm.
No, he's lost it a little bit. Now he needs to pull it back a little bit here. Referee
Mark Carter looking very closely, and he stands the fighters up.
That was a terrible decision by the referee. That was absolutely abhorrent.
The decision by the referee to stand up the fighters incurred the wrath and anger of the blue corner. Jose Martinez second, screaming at the referee for making those two stand up. Jose Martinez and Eddie Brown in stand-up toe-to-toe as Martinez tees off at the end of the round. High drama at Remington Park in Oklahoma City. The next round you do not want to miss. Stay with us. Holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen, as we enter the third and final round of this bout at the Wheatley Vodka Rampage at Remington, presented by Tecate Light and brought to you by HD MMA. We have Eddie Brown in the red corner, multicolored trunks. Jose Martinez, grizzled, tough veteran in the white trunks with the black trim. Starting round three, high drama through round one and especially through round two. Mikhail Valentin, how would you score round two, and how would you assess the momentum of this fight?
I think Martinez took it. I think he came back. I think he was being controlled. He did the damage with those elbows. He hurt Eddie. Eddie started to fade. Remember when I said he was fading? I think that's what happened, and I think Martinez is on the offensive here. I do know that, it looks like Eddie's trying to control him, trying to do exactly what he needs to, survive, hold on, but Martinez is doing everything right.
Martinez is really showing the old veteran skill, and now we see Eddie Brown actually wincing as Jose Martinez throws brutal leather. Eddie Brown has the look on his face of a man who does not want to continue. His mouth is open, he's sucking for air, but look at him throw the jab and exchange on the inside, shoots on the double leg. Mikhail Valentin, I thought we were ready to see Eddie Brown go, but check out this kid give it back.
Holy cow, that's exactly it. He's slower on the takedowns. He's slower on the strikes. He's shooting from far out, and Jose's stopping everything and doing all the damage.
This is a bout that at this point comes down to experience. And the experience of Jose Martinez is outclassing the youth and speed of Eddie Brown. Eddie Brown in huge trouble. Referee Mark Carter has to be looking at the fighters, considering whether to stop. Eddie Brown is not firing back, and Jose Martinez is exhausted, unloading everything in his arsenal, and here comes Eddie Brown. Eddie Brown senses a lull in the action, tries to mount an offensive. Martinez swings back, but fails to land. These two are exhausted, and they are desperate. Eddie Brown takes Jose Martinez to the floor. Miguel, I'm so excited. Miguel Valentin does Martinez stand a chance to recoup this round in the position he's in now?
He has to get up right now. He is in a bad position. Eddie did everything right and got him into the mount. Jose exhausted himself trying to finish. So Jose, look at him. He's trying to fight out, and he is. He's looking like he might stand up, but Eddie got a single leg and sits him back down. Oh, looking for the choke.
That's the thing about Jose Martinez.
Oh, he pulled his head out.
Jose Martinez is very crafty at pulling out moves that his opponents do not see coming. But Martinez may be simply overwhelmed as we come in to the final stretch of the third and final round. He may be simply paying the price for his lack of conditioning.
I agree. I think the conditioning hurts, but at the same time, to be fair with it, he's fought all the way through.
And listen to this crowd. The crowd at Remington Park going wild, cheering on Eddie Brown, wanting to see him get his 5th win inside the cage as he has top mount and complete domination of Jose Martinez. But Jose Martinez fighting incredibly effectively from the bottom, throwing elbows to the point where Brown is in trouble. Oh my gosh, the ebbs and flows to this bout are unbelievable. Can Eddie Brown, whose mouth is open and who is sucking wind and whose hands are dropping, can he sustain himself to the end of this round? Oh, Martinez, big swing and a miss. And I think that took more out of Martinez than people realize.
It did. His mouth is wide open, but he's still throwing heavy bombs. He hurt him.
Oh,
he hurt him bad.
And he hurt him with the body shot.
He hurt him bad.
It was the body shot from Martinez to the ribs of Eddie Brown that put him in a horrible position. But look at Eddie Brown. Have you ever seen two warriors give it their all like you are seeing right now? It's the end of the fight. What do the judges think? We're gonna find out. You must stick around for the decision. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is exactly why HD MMA gets national attention. What a spectacular bout.
Man.
We are going to the judges' scorecards. We're setting it up in the ring to the cantankerous Gerald Whalen.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for these two warriors?
Let me get the decision to ask you his opinion.
The co-main event of the evening, proudly brought to you by Tecate, goes to the scorecards. Judge Michael Scott, John Kennedy, and Chris Ritter score the bout 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the blue corner, Jose Martinez.
All three judges scoring this bout 29-28, unanimous decision for Jose Martinez. Mikhail, are you surprised in any way by that decision?
No. So here's the thing. Eddie Brown dominated round 1. Eddie Brown was dominating round 2. The elbows turned the fight. As soon as the damage happened, you saw Eddie start to wilt. Jose came on. Jose did all the damage towards the end of the round. Jose looked like he was nearly finishing him there in the second round. All the blood, all the damage, that sat well with the judges. He was the one closest to ending the fight. He was the one pushing the action. In the third round, Eddie was what Jose was in the first. Eddie was hanging on. Eddie was fighting to survive. And Jose was doing everything to finish the fight.
This fight was experience versus youth, and experience wins. Jose Martinez moves his record to 9-4, winning by unanimous decision. Our main event at the Rampage at Remington is coming up.